We have a new analogy. If you've been listening to us for a while, it may not seem new to you, but it's new enough that we want to give it to you here in case you haven't heard it, because it will provide for you a very wonderful basis of everything else that's going to unfold in this discussion today. Esther has a pond at the center in Texas, and the water was getting cloudy, more and more so, until you couldn't see the fish. She didn't know what had caused it, but she remembered when you could see the fish. And so people came and provided their opinions. Let's replace the filter, which they did, the pump and the filter. It didn't change anything. Let's put clarifier into it, which killed fish but didn't clear the water. So it was determined that the water was being drawn from the pond into the filter through pipes in the ground, and it was being filtered, but when the water was being put back into the pond, those pipes were clogged, completely clogged. Texas has a very hard caliche soil, becomes almost concrete-like, and those pipes were full of that. So over time, they just clogged up. So they laid some new pipes on top of the ground just to see if that really would solve the problem. And of course it did. The pond cleared right up. And so they buried the pipes, and today the pond is very clear. We want to suggest to you that you may want to lay some new pipes for yourself. Because you've been collecting debris in your pipes for a while, little by little by little. So gradually you didn't even know you were doing it. But your pipes aren't clear, and so sometimes. And when your pipes aren't clear, then even though you're asking for what you want, and the universe is orchestrating and supplying the mechanism and the means and the direction for you to have whatever you want, no exceptions. If you are not in a vibrational state of allowing what you've asked for and what has been vibrationally prepared for you, then when your filter, your vortex, pushes that desire toward your pond and your pipes are all clogged, you say something's wrong. And we say something is out of balance. You've got beliefs that don't vibrationally match the desire. We've been talking to you about the vibrational nature of your being. But most of our physical friends are not so interested in their vibrational nature, and we want you to be intensely interested in your vibrational nature. In fact, there is nothing more important for you to be interested in than your vibrational nature. Because as you offer a vibration because you think a thought, and you allow that thought to continue long enough, 17 seconds, that law of attraction joins it with another thought, then a momentum begins that equals your point of attraction. And literally, absolutely, unerringly, everything that comes to you, everything that you let into your experience is because of that vibrational pattern that you have established and practiced and perfected. Now, all the time that that's happening, you are sifting through the variety of your life, perceiving, concluding, opinionating, and all of that is good. And as you come to your perceptions, as you sift and sort, I know what I don't want, I know what I do want, you launch these vibrational rockets that don't manifest instantaneously because they don't have enough momentum. They are rockets that are not practiced by you very often. They're rockets that you shoot out in the middle of exploration of variety and contrast. It isn't until you practice that thought that you establish a strong enough point of attraction or a strong enough momentum that it becomes dominant in your experience. So there are two things that are happening to you all day, every day. You are establishing momentum without knowing you are. You are launching rockets and establishing momentum. But you are also offering contradiction to that vibration that is disallowing the momentum that you've established of coming to you. So Source knows who you are and what you want, and is flowing consciousness and direction and impulses and love and energy and power and invincibility, pouring that all to you. The question is, are you in a vibrational place that you are receiving it or not? The thing is, every word you speak about the reality that you are perceiving practices the vibration and keeps the momentum going. So the logical thing is to stop talking about it. Don't put words to it. That slows the momentum a little bit. The next logical thing is to do some processes that raise the vibration, but that's a hard way of going about it because the momentum is what it is. We're just going to give you the biggest of all justifications. And we're not kidding about this, and yet it is funny. Because we're talking all day, every day about not looking for the evidence of why things aren't working out well. But there is such an innate understanding within you that things are supposed to go well, that when they don't, it just feels freakishly wrong. And that evokes from you, not just you, but everyone, a tendency to try to explain why you're where you are. So you're doing two things. You're talking about where you are, and you're trying to explain why you're where you are. And those are the two things you've got to stop doing. And until you stop doing it, the momentum won't stop, because every day you start the momentum over again. And that's the thing that we really want you to hear. The momentum is not carrying on through your sleep state. The momentum is broken up by moments of alignment, which we know you do have. But every day you start this negative momentum over again. And you've just been doing it long enough that the negative momentum will carry you, not just through a day at the fair. Esther has been thinking a lot about Luke's day at the fair. And she wants to explain to him, because the tendency was to say, no one said it, but it could have been said. The reason that you didn't get up on the stage during Mermaid is because it was girls that they wanted. But Esther did not want to try to make his negative point of attraction all right. His negative point of attraction gave him a terrible day. Well, the joints are rigged, honey. Well, it doesn't matter. You could live in a fair where all of the joints are rigged and you can still win stuff. Law of attraction is still going to yield to somebody, you see. And so it doesn't matter how rigged it feels or how unjust it feels. The bottom line is, you and you alone establish your point of attraction, and you get a redo every day. And if you get up tomorrow and you just do what you did yesterday, then you just continue to perpetuate the momentum. And we would like to say also that, oh, this is really good. This is really good. We're just going to savor this for a little while. You can't get more than one day's negative momentum going. You can't get more than one day's negative momentum going. But you get good at keeping it going, because you practice it, and in your practicing of it, you create stuff that you observe. But every day is a fresh day for new momentum. So here's what we're saying to you. Oh, we like this too. What we're talking about here is the likelihood. We don't like that word very much, but we're going to go with it just briefly. Or the tendency. Your tendency to find the high disc is influenced by the disc you found yesterday. Because the disc you found yesterday yielded manifestations that you're still talking about. Ooh, don't you like this? So let's go back again. You can only get 1 day's worth of momentum going, because you're going to slumber and that momentum is going to subside. And when you awaken in the morning, you can tell your sad story or a better story. You can tell the story of current reality, and parts of it are good. You can tell the good parts or none of it. Or you could talk in more general terms. There are things about your reality that have manifested that are worth noticing. Your earth spins in its orbit. It's so big and you rarely talk about it. You hardly ever talk about the magnificence of that momentum. You don't talk about the food that continues to grow. No new seeds being trucked in from other planets. The food continuing to grow. The seed continuing to know what to do. The life force of the seed continuing to know what to do. We know that these things seem far from the things that are concerning you. But if you could get far from the things that are concerning you, you would stop that momentum. Now, we're going to explain something to you. Almost no one understands this. You're going to get it easily. So, you came from source energy and really high-flying momentum. And you're born into a physical body with the potential of increasing that momentum, which you're doing. Because when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And so each time you know what you do want, it increases that momentum of who you are really, who you have actually become. So this momentum of who you are is really moving fast. It's this very high, non-resisted vibration. And the momentum of that is calling all cooperative components into its sphere. All cooperative components are being gathered. Well, if you could be less resistant, meaning you've told the story a little less today than you did yesterday, that momentum would pull you closer to it. You would have a better day. It's like you're being pulled up this shaft of well-being, up this vibrational shaft of well-being. And it is so dominant that when you reemerge in the non-physical, you'll have the exaltation of that experience. Humans have messed that up with their screwy stories too, but that really is the way that it is. So when you approach a new day and you think, that high-flying vibration is calling me, and if I don't activate something in myself by focusing on it that is resistant in nature, then I'll easily move into it. I'll easily move into it. It's sort of like, how did the day at the fair get going? It's like, what happened first? It is so interesting to us that the whole thing started with a spinning wheel at the fair. In other words, the early moments sort of set the tone of how it's going to be. So days and days and days and months and months and months and years and years and years can go by of the same tone getting set and the same tone getting set and the same tone getting set, but it doesn't make any difference. You can set the new tone. The thing that we want to impart to you, that you have the ability to hear, and if you do, then you're home free on all of this. We don't want you to choose this high-flying disc so that you can get the job you want or get the relationship you want. We want you to choose the high-flying disc because all of the other ones are inferior to it. We want you to get the high-flying disc because it feels good and everything else feels less good. We want the high-flying disc for you because that's where clarity and exhilaration and fun and joy and appreciation and love and vitality and clarity and all of those things that you really are. We want that for you. All the other stuff will come, but so what? The only reason you want the other stuff is so you'll have fun and appreciation and love and clarity and joy and all of that. That's the reason you want it anyway. So can't you just sort of cut through the justification of why you need to do that and just accomplish it a little more today, a little more tomorrow than you did today, and a little more the next day than you did this day? We've enjoyed this interaction. It's exhilarating to come together. Exhilarating. Do you understand that word? Exhilarating. It is the most high-flying experience imaginable by us, to come together with those like you.